In July 2025, the Strathcona County Community Grants Policy was updated. This grant program focuses on prevention and early intervention supports, services, initiatives, and events. It does not fund intervention services or treatment services. What is prevention? Prevention aims to enhance protective factors for the general population or broad subsets of the population who may be at higher risk at an early stage by addressing root causes of social issues, promoting protective factors in the physical and social environment, and enhancing awareness and connection. What is early intervention? Early intervention aims to enhance protective factors for specific groups or populations who are considered vulnerable or at higher risk by addressing issues at an early stage, strengthening the capacity of individuals and communities to reduce risk factors and build resilience, and connecting those in need with appropriate resources and skill development. Grant proposals should contribute to the outcomes of resilient individuals, safe and supportive families and relationships, and connected and engaged communities. There are 3 funding streams within the Strathcona County Community Grants Program: Core, Community Initiative, and Connection. This video will focus on the Community Initiative grant stream. Within the application, you are required to choose one outcome domain and one indicator to align with and evaluate. You will need to explain in your application how your proposal aligns with the outcome and how you plan to evaluate it. The 3 outcome domains are resilient individuals. Strathcona County residents have the skills and resources to maintain personal well-being and effectively navigate and overcome life's challenges. Safe and supportive families and relationships. Strathcona County residents cultivate and experience supportive and responsive relationships. And connected and engaged communities. Strathcona County is a welcoming, connected, and engaged community where residents build and participate in supportive social networks. The Community Initiative grant stream has 2 funding levels, up to $2,000 and up to $25,000. This grant stream provides one-time funding for an innovative program or project to build individual or community resilience, build strong, healthy relationships between individuals, groups, or sector partners, and promote inclusivity and improve the sense of belonging in the community. For the up to $2,000 funding level, it is for residents, informal groups, neighborhood committees, and community leagues. Some ideas could include activation of community spaces, awareness campaigns, and learning events. This is not an exhaustive list, just some examples of what could be funded through this grant stream. If your idea is innovative and meets the eligibility criteria, you should apply. The up to $25,000 funding level is for nonprofits. You can apply as a new nonprofit, and you need to be in good standing with the province and with the county. Ideas could include community capacity building initiatives, initiatives to support an inclusive community, initiatives that respond to a gap in the identified outcomes, learning activities around social needs and community well-being, or a collaborative initiative requiring backbone support. Again, this is not an exhaustive list, but a few ideas to get the wheels turning. If your idea is innovative and meets the criteria for the grant, please apply. The intake for the Community Initiatives grant will be fall. Application deadlines are located on our grant stream website and within the grant guidelines. Please look for them there. The online system will automatically close at the deadline, so ensure you get it in prior to the deadline. You will have 1 year to complete your project. Eligibility. For the up to $2,000 funding level, Strathcona County residents, informal groups, neighborhood committees, or community leagues are eligible. And for the up to $25,000 funding level, registered nonprofits in good standing are eligible. Proposals must be a new project, program, or initiative. They must serve Strathcona County residents. They must be delivered in Strathcona County. They must be open and inclusive to all who want to participate. Programs may target a particular demographic based on identified need, but must demonstrate principles of inclusive participation. And they must be secular in nature. No proselytizing, worship, mandatory prayer, or participation in religious activities as part of the funded activity. Organizations that are ineligible or ineligible proposals would be for-profit entities, organizations or initiatives primarily mandated with a sport or recreation focus, political organizations, and initiatives that duplicate services provided by a government or government agency. Ineligible expenses include memorial benches, capital expenses or infrastructure, debt retirement, deficit reduction, bridge funding, expenses incurred prior to the start date of your grant agreement for the up to $25,000 funding level, or expenses incurred prior to funds being dispersed for the up to $2,000 funding level. Priority will be given to organizations who have not received other county funding within the past year. Note that you cannot receive funding from more than one Strathcona County funding program for the same purpose. Evaluation of applications for the up to $2,000 funding level. Once you hit submit, the applications will be reviewed for eligibility. All eligible applications are then packaged and put into an evaluation tool for a panel of internal reviewers to assess. The internal panel will review and evaluate the applications. They will submit any questions they have for the applicants, and the grants team will reach out directly to the applicant for any answers. We then meet as an internal review panel and discuss allocation recommendations. These recommendations come to the FCS team to finalize and distribute the grants. For the up to $25,000 funding level, once you hit submit, the applications will be reviewed for eligibility. All eligible applications are then packaged and put into an evaluation tool for the reviewers to assess. The Community Grants Advisory Committee members will review and evaluate the applications. You may receive questions from the committee and will be asked to respond via email. The committee then meets to discuss allocation recommendations. These recommendations come to administration, which then get prepared to go to council for final approval in late January. Applicants will be notified by email about funding decisions in late January. Then we will begin working on the grant agreement. There are 4 evaluation criteria for the Community Initiative grant streams. Alignment. This includes your alignment with outcomes and the grants policy around the purpose of the grant stream. Merit evaluates the identified need and impact, if there are clear and reasonable goals, and whether the project is inclusive and collaborative in nature. Viability includes realistic deliverables, timeline, and budget, the level of risk and ability to provide necessary resources to complete the initiative. And innovation assesses the creative and engaging ways identified to create impact in the identified outcomes. All of these criteria are aligned with questions on the application form, and that will be how your application is assessed. Some tips for drafting your application. Be clear and concise. Provide only the information relevant to answer the question. Each question aligns with evaluation criteria. There are word limits in the application, so ensure you are answering the question to the best of your ability while remaining within the word limits. Use plain language. Your application should be easily understood by the evaluators. Be sure to define acronyms and avoid jargon. Explain connections. Evaluators will be assessing what you share with them in the application. Make sure there are clear connections and linkages made so the evaluators aren't making assumptions. An example would be explaining how the deliverables, evaluation, and budget connect. Include relevant statistics or research and tell us where you got the information. Draft your application prior to the deadline and have multiple people review for clarity and to suggest ways to make a stronger application. Ask people outside of your project or program to read for clarity and accuracy. If they have questions, the committee could have those same questions. Gather your thoughts. You can either use a Word document or input directly into the link. There is a save and continue later function. Then you can step away from it and come back to edit it when you're fresh. The link will automatically close at the deadline, so ensure you hit submit before the deadline to ensure your application is submitted. There is a budget template located on the Community Grant Community Initiative Stream website. When completing the budget, only include the revenues and expenses associated with the project. Once you hit submit, you will receive a confirmation email. Ensure you enter your email address correctly in the application form, and if you don't see a confirmation email in your inbox, check your junk mail. If it is not in your junk mail, please reach out to us. You can also refer to the frequently asked questions on the website. Our website has more information. please go to www.strathcona.ca/InitiativeGrant, or you can email the Community Grants team with questions at communitygrants@strathcona.ca.